The first time Oklahoma State alumnus Denny Kellington ever performed CPR was on January 2nd, 2023, during the Monday Night Football game. He was an integral member of the Buffalo Bills athletic training staff who helped save Damar Hamlin's life after he suffered a cardiac event. Many were quick to call Kellington a hero for his actions that night. Kellington will tell you he wasn't a hero. He was just ready. Hear Kellington's story today on Inside OSU. Denny, welcome back to Stillwater. When was the last time you were here?
Actually, me and my family were here last April and came up for a day visit, and Scott Parker, the athletic trainer for the football team, showed me around the football wing with all the renovations going on with the locker room and everything, and getting to see his area was awesome. So it was last April. So wasn't expecting to come back this soon, so but for a good reason. So yeah, last April.
How does it feel to be back now?
It's a blessing, honestly. Being an athletic trainer, being behind the scenes, and then now being thrusted in the limelight and coming back home to my alma mater. Oklahoma State has been close to my heart ever since before I went to Oklahoma State, I was an Oklahoma State fan, and then going to undergrad, great 4 years here, and everybody knows where I'm from, in regards to always supporting Oklahoma State. Even the players, especially when I play my country music, Garth Brooks is first. So that's what we do.
Have you converted any of them to Garth
Absolutely.
fans?
Absolutely. So
Now, they all know where you're from, Oklahoma State alumni. Where did you grow up?
actually, I grew up in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Um, I have a family, wonderful family, mom and dad. Dad worked at General Motors. Mom worked as a LPN for the county health department. Got a great family. My sister Robin, and my brother Tony. They each have their families, and we're a very strong Christian family, very close knit family, and we always said we were very unique growing up, and that is so true. And we all love each other. Tony is actually the hero of my family. Yes, I've been awarded the Hero Award, but Tony and my dad both served in the military, so those are the true heroes.
We thank them for their service. What made you want to come up here to Stillwater and attend Oklahoma State?
So early on in high school, I was exposed to athletic training at Midwest City High School. I was exposed with athletic trainers, like I mentioned. Um, Don Fields was the first athletic trainer in my high school. Great man, sort of just introduced what athletic training was. I didn't know what it was. And then Dick Bobier was a employee of the school that I went to. He was the biology teacher, but he also was an athletic trainer. So he showed me what athletic training was about, taught a class about care and prevention to athletic injuries. And it's like, man, this is something I'd be very interested in after playing high school football. So basically that's where got my start, is seeing what those gentlemen did, sparked my interest, and then I applied to Oklahoma State first, and then I want to say it was March of 1996. I came on site for an interview with the athletic training department. That's how we did it way back when. I got accepted to college in January, interviewed in March, accepted like April as an athletic training student, and then we started that summer.
You were an athletic training student. What was your official major here?
Health and human performance with a minor in athletic training.
Was that interview for a job as an intern within the staff? How exactly did all of that work?
So back then, in the late 90s, 2000s, in order to become an athletic trainer, we went through the internship route. So the College of Education afforded us the health and human performance degree, but athletic training was my minor. So I had a handful of classes that I had to complete, and then 1,500 hours. I had 1,500 hours in my first year, but you still go through. That's what athletic training is. It's time on task. So then the next 3.5 years was just getting as much experience with different sports, different injuries, different athletes, different coaching styles, all those things that help become a better athletic trainer. And I'm not certified yet. I'm just learning. So that's where my early foundation of athletic training started.
In those early years of working with the athletic training staff, what were you allowed to do because you weren't certified?
So again, internship route. Day one, we show up, we get a crash course in emergency action plan, modalities, field setup. We all got certified in CPR. Um, like I said, field setup, um, treatments, rehabs, all those things that you learn on the fly. And that's what really drew me to Oklahoma State, knowing that I was going to get that real world experience as a young person. Now, fast forward 20 years, that doesn't happen anymore. You have to go through a undergrad, get your bachelor's degree, and then you go on to a master's degree program for 2 to 2.5 years to get your certification. So our organization as a whole has changed over the last 20 years. But it was a great experience for me.
You said 1,500 hours in your first year working with the athletic training staff. Approximately how many hours of experience do you think you gained over your time here at Oklahoma State?
Close to probably 10,000 over a 4 year career, probably. Yeah. Because each year you got more and more experience, more exposure, whether it's baseball, football, rehab setting, I worked wrestling when this was the wrestling room over in one of these corners. So a lot has changed, but it was a great experience. Wouldn't change it for the world.
You've sort of touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to ask you directly. How did your time here at Oklahoma State prepare you to embark on your real world career?
I think just the experience and just reps. Our athletes take reps to become better athletes. So as an athletic trainer, I took my job serious, becoming better by doing or by learning from other seasoned athletic trainers. Here at Oklahoma State back in the day, we had Steve York, Jeff Fair, Terry Noonan, Jack Ranson. All these are great athletic trainers that were very influential in my life. And then I learned from other athletic trainers, Brian Farr, Shalise Afonso, Angie Beisner. The list goes on and on. And I'm still friends with these people. Athletic training is such a close-knit family. And prior to coming here, many of those same people reached out to me to wish me well on this adventure.
Prior to coming back to speak here, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it's just, again, knowing that those people had my back when I was young in the profession and were very influential in my growth and development. For them to reach out unannounced, knowing that I'm coming here, that's what, I mean, it's been meant a lot, honestly.
Where did you go after Oklahoma State?
So I graduated in December of 2000, had the very fortunate to go to the Denver Broncos. Initially, that was only going to be a 6 month internship and it ended up being a full year. So I was there for the 2001 full season. And then in February of 2002, that's when I had my opportunity to go to NFL Europe. I did that for a quick 6 months, went to Amsterdam, lived over there, and then coming back to the States, I had to get my master's degree, so then I was afforded a great opportunity at Ohio State University. Again, great people. Janine Oman, Bill Davis is a former alum of OSU. Great friend Doug Callan, another great friend. There's a lot of connections. Had a great experience at Ohio State. Did that for 2 years, and then I spent one more year in Columbus working as a physician extender, learning a ton of MRIs, CTs, ordering medications with our physicians, setting people up for surgery. It was a little different role than athletics, but again, gave me a great growing body of knowledge to learn from and put in my arsenal to help me today. And then 2005, I moved to Syracuse, and I had a great 12-year run at Syracuse as an assistant athletic trainer. And then in 2011, they bumped me to head football athletic trainer. Was doing that. Everything was fine. Enjoying life, working with a multitude of athletes and great athletic training staff there as well. And then in March of 17, the Bills called, and I had to say yes.
You had to say yes. Why did you have to say yes?
Um, just another challenge. I wanted the challenge of working in the NFL, and those opportunities do not come very often. And I had the full support of my wife, Jennifer, and she said, if this is something you want to do, let's do it. So we did it, and I got an offer and been there for just finished up our sixth season, going on number 7. Super excited, looking to try to win a Super Bowl.
You said you've wanted to be an athletic trainer since high school. So obviously you want to be an athletic trainer. What was the goal? Was the NFL ever in sight?
Not necessarily because I had that exposure early on in 2000 with the Broncos for basically 2.5 years. It was a great opportunity there, and I thought that was the end when I was done with my internship then at that time. But again, athletic training is a very close knit, and a good friend of mine was the head athletic trainer for the Bills when they came a calling, and great man. His name's good friend of mine, Sean Gibson, and he's the head athletic trainer for the Saints now. But it was an opportunity that I took, and I'm so glad, so blessed.
How does the NFL compare to the world of college football and college sports?
Honestly, there is a lot of similarities because the players are getting younger and younger. I'm getting older and older, but the nice thing is, if you know how to relate to people and they know that you care about them, it doesn't matter if they're a rookie or a 15-year vet in the NFL. If they know you care about them, they're going to trust you. And that doesn't happen immediately. That is earned over time. Whether I was at Syracuse working with a freshman walk-on, or if I'm at with the or the Buffalo Bills working with one of our star players, I treat everybody equally and fairly and with respect, and that's where you earn the trust from those individuals.
How important is trust in your job?
Oh, I mean, if you don't have trust, then you might as well go try something else. Or um, the when we're working with people, that is vital to for their livelihood to trust you, knowing that you're doing everything you can to help them become better athletes or recover from an injury to get back doing what they love.
What's a typical game day like for you? And I use the word typical loosely because I know every game is different.
Yeah, usually if it's a home game, 1 o'clock is our start game on Sundays. I usually get to the stadium a little early, between 8:30 and 9, just to be available. We hang out, we have camaraderie with our staff, and then once the players start rolling in, it's a lot of hands-on, joint moves, manips, muscle activation stuff, all the stuff that we like to do behind the scenes, just to help the players feel good. Getting to that point to prep their body for participation, and then as closer we get to game time, then you're taping, you're getting them their pads on, you're getting the wrist tape, spatting, whatever they want, because it's their body, it's their choice. We're going to do everything we can to help them, and then about 10 minutes before kickoff, we run out on the field, sing the national anthem, and then we're on and waiting for any injuries or issues that may arise.
You mentioned the uniforms. How often do you have to help a guy get his shoulder pads on? Because that is difficult.
Usually, I help when they're injured to take them off. We have a great group of equipment managers and our strength staff. We'll let them, they're the experts in that. But when it comes to a guy that's been injured, we'll do everything we can to help him take it off.
How many people are on the Buffalo Bills athletic training staff?
Nate Bresky is our head athletic trainer, great friend of mine and a neighbor. Tabani Richards, athletic trainer. Joe Mika, physical therapist and coordinator of rehab. And then recently we just hired Marissa Figueroa. She's our new full-time assistant. And then um, Teresa is our young seasonal for us this year. And then we have some students from the universities that come over and help us out.
Mentioned Marissa was just officially hired. What was your reaction when you found out they hired her full time?
Amazing. Super happy for her. She's a great human being, uh, and just a wonderful athletic trainer and a great addition to our staff.
Your staff was sort of put in the spotlight on January 2nd during Monday Night Football. What happened during that game?
So we all know there was a cardiac event with Damar. When he fell down, that's when myself, Nate, Dr. Bassan, Dr. White, we rendered care. And at that moment in time, as everybody knows, it was a significant issue. And we, as a medical staff, athletic training staff, in concert with the visiting, or because we were the visiting team, so Cincinnati's medical team and the emergency response team from the stadium, we all rendered care to Damar, and thankfully we were very successful in our implementing our emergency action plan to help that young man, and we're seeing the benefits of that today.
What do you remember about that moment on January 2nd?
That our team came together and did our job, and when you train, you prepare, and you rely on your your experience. 27 years of doing emergency action plans. That's the first time I had to do CPR. So yeah, pretty amazing. And we had a great group of people with us. So we're supposed to be successful on an NFL stadium.
You mentioned being the visiting team. What's your relationship like with other training staffs on a game day? Do you guys talk
Yeah, yeah,
beforehand?
we have. So earlier in the week, on Monday or Tuesday, we'll receive the copy of the emergency action plan from the host team. Comes to myself, Nate, and we share it with our staff. We review it. If we have any questions, we discuss it. And then when we get to the stadium, usually the emergency action plans are posted, and the NFL does a very good job. We have a 60-minute meeting where the head athletic trainer and the head team physicians will all meet. There's about 30 personnel that meet in a secluded area of the stadium, and they go over the roles and responsibility, a greet and meet, and making sure everybody understands what your roles are for that day, and then making sure we all identified the code leader. When we were in Cincinnati, Woods Curry was our code leader. So that's one of the most important aspects of player health and safety is having a good, solid emergency action plan set in place. And every NFL stadium has that. But more importantly, we were very successful at what we did on that January 2nd. Honestly, athletic trainers are doing this on a daily basis right now. Uh, this past year, a young athletic trainer in Rochester, recently certified as a athletic trainer after 2 years of grad school, she did the same thing. She did CPR and saved that young lady's or that young man's life. So yes, we've got it on film and on the national spotlight, but athletic trainers have been doing this for years. It's just now more noticed.
Why is it important for it to be more noticed?
If I'm a parent, I'm a parent. And I know there are tons of parents out there. If you have kids playing sports, if schools are going to offer sports, they need to make sure that there's an athletic trainer, an elite healthcare provider that is the first person there to help save a kid if they're ever put in those situations. We have the training, we have the experience, and we have the knowledge to handle those situations, and I think it's vital.
How did you and the rest of the Bills athletic training staff cope in the days after the incident?
I would say just the camaraderie that we all have as a team. I would say that Damar's parents were extremely helpful to all of us, just giving us permission that in their heart of hearts, they knew he was going to be fine. And as a parent myself, I hope I'm that strong as they are, if anything was to ever happen to my kids. But I think just the cohesive nature of the Buffalo Bills, we're a very tight-knit organization, and it starts at the top with Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. That's I mean, it's a brotherhood, sisterhood. Everybody loves each other. We speak that. And I think that's what really drew us all closer together. But when the Hamlin family got up there on our Zoom call that Wednesday to address the team, um, Mario said, "Guys, let's go get ready for the Patriots." And when he said that, I think there was just a Damar's going to be okay, and we all know he is.
Talk about the Patriots. What was the atmosphere like that day?
It was unbelievable, just the energy that, I mean, let's be honest, the event united the country, and then within 6, 7 days, we're playing another football game, and for Naheem to return that opening kick touchdown, and I mean the sense of, I mean, there was God there. The divine intervention was definitely there, and it was very special for all of us involved.
Felt like a movie. Not one, but two kick returns.
Yeah, you can't write that script, but
Can't.
it happened.
It's a movie, you think it was fake.
Correct.
Or that, oh, this is a feel-good story, but
Yeah,
that was real life.
it was real.
And you got to be there.
Yeah, it was pretty special. So those are the memories that you cherish forever as you're going through your career. That's something that will stick with me forever.
You've talked about your family. You're a parent. How did they support you through all of this?
Oh man, my wife Jennifer, amazing woman, amazing mother to our kids. Um, Sydney and Brighton, I love them to pieces, and my family again, we're so close. Just praying together, being together. That week, my parents flew up. Actually, my parents flew up the following week, but my sister flew up. I had cousins from Pittsburgh drive over to hang out with us. So having family around that those few days after was very comforting to know that they were there for me, but then also for them because they were going through it too.
The other part of this is the Bills athletic training staff has been very instrumental to increasing awareness about the need for AEDs. Why are they so important to have accessible at all levels of sports?
I just think I mean, I had a coach say common sense. It's a little bit of CS goes a long way. They're not very expensive. Um, there are tons of resources out there that can help schools pay for these devices. And the schools that do have them are doing a great job, but a lot of times they are put in a place where they may be locked under a key or the door is locked, so there's not access. So having them available even after hours, because that's where a lot of times school events happen. So I think just a little bit of common sense goes a long ways. Um, they're very simple to use. If you're not if you're not CPR certified, at least go take a 2-hour course on how to be used by standard CPR, which you don't have to do any type of breaths. You just push. Call, push, shock. It's it's common sense. So I hope that we continue to have these conversations to help other people's kids not have to go through something like that.
If a school or university team wanted to get an AED, where are some of the resources they can turn to get more information on those?
The Red Cross is a great resource. American Heart Association. Damar has his initiatives that he is pushing to get the word out, and any local fire department will be more than willing to teach you CPR.
How long does it take to get certified in CPR?
I mean, if to do it the correct way, there's 4-hour courses.
Just 4 hours to be certified in CPR.
Great resource to provide for somebody in need.
How long does the certification last?
2 years.
So every 2 years.
There's refresher courses.
And are those 4 hours or are those
No,
less?
those are shorter.
Okay. What's your hope for AED availability and accessibility in the near future?
I mean, it should be at every middle school, every junior high, high school. Most colleges already have them. I hope they're available at the local baseball park or the softball park that may not be tied to a school. I think that's extremely important. We see them at airports when you're walking by an airport, so why aren't they at every youth sport that's available?
What's the process to get certified to use an AED?
Again, the AED will show you what to do. You put the pads on, the machine tells you what to do. So technically, you don't have to be certified in AED use. Just got to know it. Pull it out of the bag, listen to the prompts, and then from there, the machine tells you what to do.
I'm learning so much.
It's pretty amazing.
I know you don't like the word hero, but your heroics on January 2nd led to you coming back to your alma mater to be the keynote speaker for the 2023 commencement. What was your reaction when you got the call from Oklahoma State?
So Chad Weiberg called me, and I was getting on a plane to go to the Super Bowl because we were honored at the Super Bowl that weekend. So Wednesday around 11 o'clock, we're sitting on this plane and an Oklahoma State number pops up, and I'm like, I got to answer it. I don't know what it is, but I answered it. And Chad and I have had conversations before, so we had a little bit of small talk. I thought that was the end of the conversation. He's like, I got to ask you a question. I'm like, what? Can you be the commencement speaker in May? And I'm like, I wanted to jump up and scream and yell, but I couldn't because I'm on an airplane. So I leaned over to Jennifer and I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh. So we were very ecstatic, but we couldn't do anything at that time. But Chad and I reconnected and accepted on behalf of Dr. Schramm, and it's been amazing.
What's your message to the class of 2023?
As I said today, I hope that they are ready for the next chapter of their life, understanding that their experiences here at Oklahoma State has prepared them for the future and that they are ready.
Finally, for all the Cowboys watching, what's the real OSU?
Oklahoma State, 100%. Absolutely. Orange. That bright orange,
Is
for
the
sure.
answer.
Absolutely.